In this short video, we're going to look at a 2-year swap based on 3-month LIBOR rates. And we're going to figure out, given a swap rate and given current LIBOR, how the payments in the future are going to be set up. The first part is simple. The fixed payments are always using the swap rate. Takes the swap rate, multiplied by the notional, divided by frequency in year. Remember, these are 3-month payments. So if you're a fixed rate payer, you are going to be paying exactly the same amount. So let's make sure that we fix these amounts, because I'm going to copy the formulas. For the next 8 quarters, this is a 2-year swap, you're going to pay $6,250. What you're going to receive if you're a fixed rate payer depends upon the LIBOR fix. The first one is simple. The rate that we're going to use to determine how much you will receive as a floating payment depends on 7th of July, which is the first payment date. Depends on the LIBOR now. That's the current LIBOR. And floating payment is simple. Take the LIBOR fix, multiply it by the notional, divided by the frequency. And that means if you're a fixed rate payer, your net payment is fixed payment minus the floating payment. So if you entered in the swap where you agreed to pay $250 fixed and you agreed to receive LIBOR in exchange, the first payment period, which is 3 months from now, you are expected to pay $6,250 but receive $3,625 back. That means only the net is going to be exchanged. You will make a net payment of $2,625. Now, let's say 3 months from now, on 7th of July, LIBOR is actually increased to 175. Well, then the floating payment, let's make sure, let me see, let's fix these frequency and the notional amount. If LIBOR has indeed increased to 175 on 7th of July, that means your LIBOR 6 is 175. That rate applies to October 7th. You are to be paid, since you are receiving the floating, $4,375. You're paying on the fixed side $6,250. So on net, you're going to pay $1,785. Let's say on 7th of October, LIBOR is 2.5 now. That means your floating payment is $6,250 and your net payment is 0. Let's make 3%, 4%, 3.5%, 275 and 175. At this point, I'm just making up these numbers. So if I tell you what future LIBORs are going to be, including the current one and the swap rate, you should be able to calculate net swap payments for a fixed rate payer. Of course, in the future, LIBOR could be lower, could be higher. The idea is if LIBOR goes up, you are getting more on the floating. For example, if it goes up to 4, you get $10,000, but you're paying $6,250. If LIBOR goes down, your net payment is going to increase. In the next video, we're going to actually figure out how we can go ahead and calculate the what swap rates should be. For that purpose, let's kind of telegraph our move. Let's think about this payment. I'm going to fix this LIBOR that is going to apply on 7th of October on 7th of July. So if you think about it, on the one end there is a fixed rate loan. You are effectively paying interest on a $1 million loan that's going to start on July 7th, but you're going to make the actual payment on October 7th. That's $6,250. On the other hand, you're going to receive an interest on a $1 million loan that you make, but you don't know what that rate is going to be. This is effectively a loan that's going to start, a 3-month loan that's going to start on July 7th. You're kind of seeing where this goes. This is almost like a forward rate agreement. I am going to loan $1 million to someone, but I'm not going to give that money until 7th of July. And we don't know what that rate is going to be, but we can act as if that's the forward rate. It's going to be much more clear when we implement this. But for now, let's stop here to make this video short enough for YouTube.